welcome back to my channel. It's been so long since I made a video and I've been dying to make a video, but when you're busy and you just lose track of things. So yeah, I'm here and I'm going to be reacting to Barbie Mania, or more specifically the Barbie movie, just sharing my thoughts on it and why I'm not on the Barbie train. Just to give a quick disclaimer, I'll be analysing this from a black working class feminist perspective. So just in saying those words, you have a clear indication of the type of analysis that I'm going to give. What is the film about? If you haven't seen Barbie, I would say the main thing that kind of pushes the narrative along is that Barbie, one day, she starts to have feelings of thoughts of death. She starts to have cellulite. So then she's like, what? Why am I feeling things? I'm at this Barbie party. Why am I not as into it as everybody else? Eventually she ends up going to the human world, and that is the adventure. Barbie Land is basically satire of the real world. So the women are in power, the women are in the Senate, that type of thing. And straight away we see the secondary role that Ken's playing in Barbie Land. So that is how gender is kind of defined. We have the women who have the power, and then we have the men who are the Kens who have a secondary role. They're not like active participants in that society. Ken does beach, Ken tries to impress Barbie. Just to get straight into this, I think though there is that satire, for me particularly, Barbie is synonymous with whiteness, skinniness, and heteronormativity. There's no way to go about avoiding it. That is part of the Barbie brand, and if we're really being honest, that aesthetic is largely seen as something to aspire to, the wealth, the lifestyle, this Barbie lifestyle, because it's seen as you're a Barbie, you live a Barbie life type of thing. Even in Barbie Land, Barbie has a mansion. Barbie owns her own property. Barbie, owns a whole bunch of fashions and clothes, and these things still play a role in the Barbie Land. So I just think we have to confront it. And they do try to there's moments in the film where they try to talk about this, but I don't think it's avoidable. There's a bit where the narrator says that, so when I think Margot, towards the end, when she kind of wants to be a human, leave the Barbie world behind, and they're sort of discussing the pressures of how women are meant to look, and the narrator says she's not necessarily the best person to make this point, or something along those lines. I can't remember the exact wording. But it's that's not enough. Still, the reality is that Margot and Ryan Gosling are a huge pull factor for this film for a reason. And when people think of Barbie and Ken, that is associated with whiteness, skinniness, and cis heteronormativity. In a white supremacist world, right? When we're defining this sort of diversity and inclusion conversation, which has been really interesting post George Floyd especially, right? What does that mean, and whose comfort is being prioritized? Because I think when we're lauding these films as or creators as being disruptive and it's so inclusive, who does that really benefit? It does not benefit those said groups. It's all about how that performativeness is making the brand look. And they talk about capitalism a lot in this film, ironically, and making money, and how Mattel, which is the company that produces Barbie, is largely motivated by money. So it's just quite ironic. I found there were so many ironic moments in the film, I wouldn't expect anything more from Barbie or a Barbie film, right? It's just because Barbie decided to take this social justice direction, and it's how people are reacting and acting as if it is something so great. And then also, I think another thing that bothers me about Barbie is that it kind of reinforces this idea of a simplistic understanding of feminism, which is equality of the sexes. So I just want people to just be mindful of that when they're like really celebrating, and because you are being acknowledged fully in this film. You feel seen by this film, like, and that's what a lot of people want when they watch films. There's people that watch and cannot escape the realities of what dictates their day-to-day life, right? And I think that's why a lot of people find the representation matters discourse distasteful, because to be honest with you, sometimes I'd rather just not be represented. If we're going to be talking about, you know, the media, I think representation matters. It has a very liberal, let's just like try to sweep things under the rug feeling to it, but we're not going to disrupt why the film industry is so messed up. If you're not going to do it properly, just leave it alone. Like, I just want to put everything out on the table. And prettiness, beauty, aesthetic, all of that is a huge part of Barbie. So it was just a bit weird for me when we're talking about when we're meant to be more than that. But despite the fact that, you know, the casting and all that takes into consideration those things which money can be made out of and you're treated differently as a result of. So it's just, I don't know, like I felt like the world I'm in and the Barbie world were like clashing as I was watching it. Issa Rae's character, the fact that she was president, also she barely says anything. The reality is, me using it this way, the other Barbies, because that's what they are. They're the other Barbies. They're not Barbie, they're the other Barbies. You know, we have Black Barbie, we have all these different Barbies, and I'll add a description on the screen. And I just think it's like the film also marginalized those people. Like, how can we make it seem as if it's some, because like in the end we realize, well, this as an audience you're meant to realize, right, that Barbie world isn't perfect, and that the Ken should also have an influence outside of Barbie. But then you barely hear anything from Issa Rae, and it's just this kind of girl boss, I'm the president, I'm head of the Senate, and then in the back of my mind I'm thinking about imperialist violence and how America intervenes in global politics and actively removes political leaders who they see as a threat, even till this day, okay? Ooh, this was a key bit I wanted to talk about. Sasha. Oh, feminists, let me know what you feel. If I'm wrong, just call me out. But I felt like Sasha reminded me of 2000s television, where they would always have that feminist character or that woke character. You know, when she was talking about how Barbie sent feminism back 30 years, she was about consumerism. It felt like that angry feminist trope that you see in TV. So I kind of just mentally blocked out a bit. But people, let me know what you think, okay? You know, again, it's the film acknowledging itself, which, no. Because unfortunately Barbie just can't be undone. The legacy of Barbie, ooh, actually, that is an interesting conversation. Has Barbie been able to undo its legacy? And I think for some people it has done. But for me personally, no. Feminism is about, for me, disrupting society. Turning the world on its head, okay? Because people in my community are under attack. All Black Lives Matter. And we also have Niger and the French basically just wanting to continue having their foot on their neck. Capitalism, down. White supremacy, down. Patriarchy, down. Ableism, down. Any ism-ish that is just like tearing our lives apart, burn it down. That is, and I think that's very much so like more of a liberationist view of things. You know, macro society, we're looking at these systems, thinking about Black feminism, these systems of oppression, how we don't have the same experiences. We all have different experiences in the Black community and our Black communities. You know, you know, we have our brothers, sisters, and siblings who are impacted by colorism, by fat phobia. Like, that is, for me, a feminist conversation. And I think we shouldn't get caught up in this, like, equality of the sexes. Like, that's the definition I had of feminism when I was in, I think when I was in college. And then I would see when Black feminism had 2 paragraphs in the book. And I was like, but wait. But yeah, let me know what you think about Barbie below. Can you relate to some of the things that I was saying? Because when I'm seeing people crying and stuff like that, I'm like, ooh.